She be quick to pick the phone up and tell me, Poppy, come through. I got that type of dick that make her stand up through the sunroof. She a single mommy, but with me she say I love you. So twice a week I beat the cheeks and chop it up like Kung Fu. Whipping that brand new Maybach right down Collins Avenue. Then we take the private chopper, fly it over Malibu. If you ain't with me turning up, I'll ask why you so serious. My boo not a city girl, but she'll end you like it's period. Studio, late night.
You already know it's me, your boy Bakerboy.
You already know who I am, man. The greatest rapper under 30 years old. It's your boy Cicero. How's everybody doing, man?
Click, and we back with another M&O hot topic. And we're going to talk about some basketball right now, man.
For
and Cicero wanted to discuss who we felt was the best team in the bubble so far.
I mean, realistically, I would love to go with, the hometown squad, Miami. I'm not even saying that to be biased. I actually do think Miami's been the most impressive in the bubble.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I don't think anybody, maybe not even people in Miami, expected the Heat to be 8-1. Realistically, should have been 8-0 if we hadn't slacked off in that game 4. But
not at all.
I don't think anybody expected Miami to be 8-1 going into the conference finals, waiting on their next opponent. Like, I don't think anybody saw that coming. I know me personally, I saw that coming because I've always been a believer in the Heat, and I'm pretty sure maybe you saw that, a glimpse of it too. But there's a lot of, like, one thing about Miami Heat fans is, for the most part, despite what people think, we're actually very realistic about our team's expectations. Like, we know what our ceiling is. But even then, I don't think a lot of people saw us coming this way. I think maybe another team is, maybe you could say, the Denver Nuggets. I feel like the Denver Nuggets have been very impressive. They came back from 3-1 against the Jazz. They just tied the Clippers up today to go to Game 7. But they've got an all-star on their team in the name of Jokic, who's a walking triple-double. Jamal Murray averaged like 40 points.
Very underrated.
I mean? Very underrated center.
He drops those numbers,
those triple-doubles
like
every game, yeah. Jamal Murray went crazy in that Jazz series, and he's playing very well again. So I genuinely do think Miami has been the most impressive. Seriously, I mean, the Lakers are playing just as well as Miami, but, like, you kind of expected that from the Lakers.
We kind of expected that from the Lakers.
Yeah, you kind of expected that.
To me, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the better question is, what's the biggest disappointment? Because to me, Giannis in the Bucks, and I'm a Heat fan right now. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 100% all Heat.
Getting gentlemen swept like that is pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, Giannis, y'all didn't show up. And I said this last year, I said it the year before that, when somebody was trying to tell me about he was the future and when he won the MVP.
I've always felt like until he gets his shot, he's not the future.
You're not going to be anything without a shot, and I'm sorry.
A respectable one. I'm not saying you got to be Steph Curry, but a respectable shot. You know what I mean?
And I'm going to stick by this. Cicero knows me. I've been saying this all our life. Mm-hmm. There is a difference between a pure shooter and somebody who's being taught how to shoot.
Yeah.
And he is somebody who is being taught how to shoot.
Yeah.
And he always will refer back to his original
shot, the muscle memory, 100%.
It's just what it is. You cannot teach him how to shoot a new way and assume that it's going to be 100% efficient. It's not like that. Anybody who played basketball know you kind of get that sweet touch down as you growing up.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
That's why it's important if you know, and the people who are pure shooters. Anybody who's played ball with me knows I'm a pure shooter. Anybody who is a pure shooter, they are a pure shooter because they were being taught how to shoot when they were younger.
Bingo.
You look at somebody like a Steph Curry. Yeah, he's got great genes, but Steph Curry was also being taught how to shoot from a young age. Klay Thompson was being taught how to shoot from a young age. Versus, because you know this is not the same way with everybody. There's a lot of players who were being taught how to be shooters when they were young. I'm one of them because I sat with a lot of shooting coaches growing up who legit would sit me down and they would like teach me how to grab the ball and how to release the ball, like all that science and like the way you should release it in order to make the ball, the rim bigger and shit like that. Like those are people from a young age who are being taught how to shoot. I'm one of them. There are other people that they're not exactly being taught how to shoot. They're being taught how to play the game of basketball and shooting kind of just gets forgotten, which you know, you kind of look at it, somebody like Zion Williamson, we're not necessarily trying to teach him how to shoot. We're trying to teach him how to play the game of basketball.
Bingo.
But a con to all of those pros, one con is going to be that he's just not going to be a great shooter because he ain't grow up that way.
Bruh.
So Giannis is one of those guys, man. He was taught how to grow up, how to play the game of basketball, but he was not taught how to shoot. And
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, he played point guard, too.
Played point guard. Yeah. So that's why he has that little bit in there.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. Yeah, so Kevin Durant is one of those players who's different than that typical 7-foot dude.
Freak of nature, man.
So, they get all these guys who are 7 foot tall, and they think that they all are going to be a shooter when Kevin Durant is a natural shooter.
Yeah.
He didn't learn how to shoot. Nobody had to change his shot.
Yeah. He's probably been shooting like that his whole life.
His whole life. And to me, Giannis is going to forever be somebody who's not a great shooter. Not a great shooter, who can be easily dictated or stopped in the playoffs, because the Heat, to me,
they made it look so easy, man. They made it look so easy to stop.
This y'all MVP, and not only that, the ball sticks. It started looking like they weren't moving the ball enough. They played better without Giannis in the game.
100%. They even won a game with him not playing. I think in the whole second half they won that game.
And shout out to Middleton, because he showed up.
He showed up in that game, man.
When your big dog is out, and the next guy steps in, and it's like cold-blooded clutch, like, I got this.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see as a coach, a fan, or anything. So shouts out to Middleton for his efforts, but unfortunately, they did what they could, but the Heat were just a better team. And
100%.
So far, so it seems like the Heat is one of the best teams, and I think that Spoelstra is going to get the acknowledgement that he deserves as being a great coach, because now you're going to see what a great coach is during this whole bubble situation.
Yeah.
This is a perfect scenario for Spoelstra.
I'm saying, bro.
No fans interacting, no distraction.
Just you
this
and
is
the players.
What Spoelstra wants.
This is you and the players, man.
This is South Beach.
Yeah, this is South Beach.
Spoelstra is loving this bubble.
100%. And you know what's crazy? For a very long time, Spoelstra has kind of always been overlooked, because he's won 2 championships and with superstars, right? Yet nobody ever looks at Steve Kerr and says Steve Kerr can't coach, even though the only championships he's won was with loaded teams.
But that's because Steve Kerr admits that he can't coach.
Okay, fair enough.
He said several times he's got
fair enough. But how about this? What about Popovich?
Now, Popovich
won championships. Always had Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and or David. I can't remember his name right now.
David Robinson.
David Robinson.
You can even go with Phil Jackson for
Phil Jackson never won without Mike or Kobe.
Yeah, well, if you go by that, but one wise person told me a long time ago that every good coach knows how to keep one good dog.
Yeah.
So,
knows how to keep one guy on the team. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So usually, you have those relationships where the coach has 1 or 2 superstars that's just loyal to the team. And that's what makes it a team, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you start with 1 or 2 guys and you build around them. Like, I don't think none of these teams go into the process of thinking that we just want to be a whole bunch of mediocre guys.
Yeah.
It just turns into that, but
that's not always on the coach, though. A lot of times that could be on a general manager and president, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But a good coach, here's what determines a good coach from a bad coach, right? So the players that actually end up on the team and on the rosters, that has to do with the general manager and or the president, right? That has usually nothing to do with the coach, unless you have a rare instance where the coach is also the general manager, but that doesn't usually happen in basketball. It's very rare. Whoever's on the court or is on the roster is what I meant. That has to do with the general manager / the president. Where the coach comes in, a good coach can be separated from a bad coach is the coach can take what the general manager has given him and can either produce great results from that or bad results from that. And whatever you want to say about Spoelstra, he has taken some pretty mediocre teams and has produced some decent results with them. Some of them even great results.
Definitely.
And that's aside from the LeBron D Wade Heat.
Yeah.
Because after that era, we had some years. Sure, we didn't make it too far into the playoffs, but I mean, a lot of people picked us to be like lottery teams.
But I think that's the
problem.
I think people try to judge a great season on a championship when I believe that some of the best coaching has been done in seasons where you didn't get even nowhere near close
like
to the
this
championship.
One, by the
you know
Heat.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some of those teams, just to keep them together a whole season.
Yeah.
And competing is hard enough. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Spoelstra.
100%.
We want to know who you guys think is the best team in the bubble because, I'm excited to see if it could be the Heat versus LeBron.
I would love to watch that, bro.
Fun into this 2020. And much as I love the Heat, I think that would just be a fun
series
way
to watch,
to end,
man.
You know what I mean?
Hell of a story too. LeBron playing the first team that he won a championship with in the finals. That'd be a hell of a story.
I think we need that. You know what I mean? As NBA fans,
the NBA's always been predicated on stories, man.
I can't think of nothing else that I would rather see.
Yeah, I agree.
The Clippers are not even making it seem like it's going to be anything worth watching.
Yeah, I'm having less and less faith in the Clippers as the playoffs go on, man.
Paul George disappearing, so
Kawhi getting passes for playing bad in a lot of games.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem too promising. So, let us guys know what you think, about who you think is the best team in the bubble so far, and also let us know about your predictions for the finals. So,
yeah,
me and Cicero will be back with another M&O hot topic.
Yeah. If you show respect to the squad, that's a big up. I want my money in the grave, first we gotta dig up. They know exactly who I am, ain't no mix-up. Cause I be talking too smooth, ain't no hiccup. Ain't no stutter in my shit. Life's a bitch, I fuck her with no rubber on my tip, yeah. Record a banger, then I double up the hits. And if they take a shot, then I'ma double up my clip, yeah. A young goat, I embodied it. Now me, I get